Hello all, this is John from EastCoastArmory.com, and I'm here today with this project wrap-up video for this 1/6 scale static M4A3E2 76mm Sherman tank. For a quick summary, the model is a 1/6 scale rotomolded tank from Plastic Panzers. This particular version here is the master that makes the kits that Plastic Panzers offers. Just a quick walk around the vehicle. You can see the completed detailing and the complete paintwork. To start with the model's rear detailing, we could see here that the flip grille has been fully painted and exhaust smoke has been added. Exhaust weathering has also been added to the gooseneck exhaust. The rear folding rack has its folding telescoping gun cleaning kit added in the storage position. If I remove this wing nut here and take out the rods, they actually connect together. The rods themselves are made out of real wood and with real metal end connectors. Like on my other M4A3s, the rack itself is fully functional, as I've mentioned previously. These little wing nuts here will hold the rack on like this and keep the rack from pivoting opening when the tank would be in motion. And over here we will see the wing nuts clamps here that would clamp to these portions here of the rack and would keep it from flopping around. Over here is the engine starter crank. This is also all scratch built. Tank's track racks have also been added with their spare track links. Just like on my previous builds, if I loosen these wing nuts, they will open up and I'll be able to remove the spare track. Now that the wing nuts are off, the straps pivot downward and the spare track link is removed. The links themselves are the Panzerwerk rubber chevron track. They themselves are made out of ABS plastic and are very durable and highly recommended. The track link goes back in its rack, and the wing nuts are ready to be remounted. They thread on just like the real vehicle. All of the exception of the track links, the racks and the metal rack and the grill work are all offered on EastCoastArmory.com. On the tank's upper rear deck, we'll see that the addition of the tools have all been added, along with their chain detailing. That there's the large wrench, sledgehammer, axe, pickaxe head, shovel, pickaxe handle, and toolbar. All these pieces are made from resin and wood, and most of the tool sets that you see here are offered on EastCoastArmory.com as well. Over here in the rear engine grille, the grille itself has been painted. There's the air intake. It's painted with a primer red type color with some airbrushed weathering on it. Like I mentioned before, the grills have a nice weight to them. And the weight securely holds them to the bottom of the, hull. Moving on to the fuel caps. All the fuel cap detailing has been added. Would be the locking pins in their chains. The caps also have their fluid identification tags added as well. On Sherman's, this one here is gasoline, as marked. This one over here is also gasoline. The one behind the turret is for oil. This is on an M4A3, over here it's oil. And over here is an auxiliary tank for either fuel or oil. There's the air filter. And in addition to the fuel caps, they are full function. You pull the pin, open it up, and there underneath you will find the turned aluminum fuel cap itself. Over here we will see drainage plugs, or drainage holes drilled in. On real Shermans, these would prevent these wells over here to pool up with water, and the water with these would just vent out of these holes. Moving towards the tank's completed suspension. The suspension is fully painted, and over here you can actually see it somewhat in action on the unlevel terrain. The tank rolls. As you can see, the suspension's already pivoting. Right here, it went over the stick and the suspension is forming. For the track, I again used the Panzerwerk rubber chevron type. And one thing that's great about the Panzerwerk track is that it also comes with the duckbill end connector. These duckbills are pretty much standard on jumbo Sherman tanks because of the added weight of all the armor. The duckbill has prevented the tank from sinking into the mud. Moving towards the tank's front, you can see the front detailing is completely added. Here is the fully painted Panzerwerk's M1919 .30 caliber machine gun. And over here we can see the completed bow hatches. If I open them up, all detailing has been painted. This again is the Panzerwerk resin periscope. It's been fully painted and weathered. The same has also been done to the driver hatch as well. Again, I fully recommend the Panzerwerk parts. They're very detailed and are worth the money. Moving towards the tank's turret, you can see the searchlights have been added along with the new clear resin lens. The new versions of the searchlight that are currently offered on eastcoastarmory.com give you everything that you see here. That includes the cover cap, the chain, and the clear resin lens. Previously, the lens would have been vacuum form clear plastic. However, those have been phased out now for the clear resin lens instead. Moving along the turret, you see the completed loader's hatch. If I open it up, the interior has been fully painted and weathered. This here's the black, be like leather or a vinyl type headrest, and has been fully weathered. Moving on to the tank's commander's copula, you can see the interior detailing if I open it. For the periscope, I used a modified version of the Panzerwerk resin periscope. For the commander's copula, the Panzerwerk periscope has to be modded slightly to fit on the copula periscope mount. As in the previous video, the periscope detailing is also present on the copula kit that is offered on eastcoastarmory.com. Moving along, we can see the tank's M2 HB 50 caliber machine gun. The machine gun itself is the Dragon 1/6 scale 50 caliber kit. Kit itself, as I mentioned earlier, is extremely nicely detailed and is highly recommended. Kit itself only received some minor modifications, namely to the feed tray cover. On the original kit, the feed tray has these two plastic nubs molded in, and it would snap into the receiver. However, it doesn't really supply you with a secure connection. So to improve the connection, I drilled out the feed cover tray and used a small wire brad that you can see right here. This small pin holds the feed cover tray in securely and also allows it to pivot without any issues. The gun itself rests on the Armor Pack's white metal 50 caliber cradle kit. Kit itself is all made out of white metal and is fully functional. It pivots, elevates. Over here we can see the chains that hold the mounting pins to the gun. And if I pull the storage lock pin here, the gun can elevate now freely. The gun itself is mounted on the eastcoastarmory.com resin pintle mount, and the new pintle mounts coming soon are going to have the cover cap and chain added to the sets. In addition to the 50 caliber, we also have the 50 caliber travel lock here, which is fully functional, and will hold the gun in travel mode, like so. Looking back, we can see the MP4A3E2 spring antenna base. As we can see here, the base is insulator. Ceramic insulator has been painted with a reddish brown color, as what is seen on the actual insulators. The antenna base itself is full function and uses a real spring. Moving to the rear turret, we can see the storage panel for the M2HB. Over here, this is the 50 caliber storage racks. These racks are a new addition to the ECA product line, and these racks are developed for any Sherman with the T23 76mm turret, or the, as we can see here, the M4A3E2 Jumbo. Moving towards the tank's front of the turret that is, we could see the coaxial M2HB 50 caliber machine gun. Now, typically, on the regular Jumbo and on most Shermans, the coaxial machine gun is that of an M1919. However, when the Jumbo was rearmed with the 76mm gun, the M1919 was replaced by the M2. Moving towards the tank's gun, and the tank's 75mm travel lock. As we can see here, the travel lock is fully functional, and on the real Sherman would open up the same way it does on the model. Travel lock on EastCoastArmory.com is offered in two versions. We have the resin version, which is like this version here, and we also have a white metal version, primarily for use with radio control models. One last walk through the model. And that concludes this end of project video for this static 1/6 scale M4A3E2 76mm Sherman tank. Stay tuned for more progress on other projects and for more detail upgrades. To view past projects and to see the current product line, go to EastCoastArmory.com. Thank you.